This is the Seiko 5 GMT, and this is the Traska Venturer GMT. They both fulfill the same task, track 2 time zones, but at a different price. The Venturer costs $750 and the Seiko sells for about $475. That makes the newcomer almost 50% more expensive. But having worn the Seiko for over a year and the Venturer for over a month now, I've had plenty of wrist time with both to conduct a thorough comparison. So today we are putting two GMTs head to head, one from a young micro brand against an established industry giant, to answer the big question: is the Venturer worth the extra $225? And which one should you choose? Let's start where everyone looks first, the build quality. At first glance, these watches look and feel completely different. The Seiko has the classic Batman style bezel, a sunburst style, and Seiko's excellent Lumibright. But when you look closer, the compromises in quality really show. The hardlex crystal instead of sapphire, hardlex bezel insert, and there are obvious gaps where the hollow end links meet the case. It doesn't quite have the seamless finishing you'd expect from a watch that's been hyped as a modern classic. The Traska, on the other hand, feels like it belongs in a higher league. The brushing is crisp, the polished accents add just enough flash, and the hardened steel case shrugs off any scratches. The dial work is absolutely stunning with glossy enamel finishes and a Swiss grade BGW9 lume that glows a sophisticated blue, all that protected by a sapphire crystal, giving it a touch of refinement Seiko just doesn't match at this level. So here the difference is clear. Seiko feels rugged and accessible, but Traska feels refined and deliberately over-engineered. If you're more into a more sporty design, the Seiko is clearly more for you, but don't expect a real tool watch. The Venturer is clearly a far better executed watch. On the wrist, these watches take two very different approaches. The Seiko comes in at a 42.5mm with a 46mm lock-to-lock. That compact lock span makes it more wearable than you'd expect, but it's 13.6mm thick, and that worsened by a transparent case back. And let's be honest, the 4R34 movement inside isn't exactly a showpiece, so the exhibition case back adds bulk without adding any value. The bracelet, while comfortable in its Jubilee style, feels like an afterthought compared to the Venturer. The hollow end links are noticeable, the clasp is basic, and it lacks modern conveniences like quick adjust. It is fine for the price, but it doesn't inspire confidence. And the Traska, by contrast, absolutely nailed wearability. At 38.5mm wide, under 10mm thick, and with the same 46mm lock-to-lock, the Venturer feels compact, slim, and incredibly well balanced. The bracelet is in another league. Fully solid links, a beautiful taper, quick release spring bars, and a clasp with 6 tool-free micro adjustments. It's the kind of bracelet you usually only see on watches well above $1,000. In terms of wearability, I would pick the Venturer every time. It sits absolutely perfect on my 7-inch wrist without the unnecessary bulk of the Seiko. When it comes to the bracelet, this is one area where the gap feels pretty big. I mean, just look at the clasp on both watches. It is a clear difference in quality. While the Seiko offers charm with the rattly Jubilee bracelet, the Traska offers comfort and premium functionality that is day and night compared to the Seiko. But at the end, the whole point of these watches is the GMT complication. Seiko uses a collar style GMT, which means the 24-hour hand adjusts independently while the local hour hand stays still. That makes it great for tracking a second time zone while you're at home. perfect for calling friends, family, or colleagues abroad. The external bidirectional bezel allows you to track a third time zone, which is clever, and in practice it's more intuitive when you're traveling. The Traska Venturer GMT, on the other hand, is a true traveler's GMT. The local hour hand jumps independently, so when you land in a new time zone, you can adjust instantly without disrupting the minute or GMT hands. That's exactly what a GMT complication was designed for back in the 1950s. Traska pairs this with the internal rotating bezel controlled by a crown at 10 o'clock. It's clean, elegant, and keeps the design uncluttered, though it lacks the bold look of Seiko's external bezel, but me personally, I prefer this. So if you want a flashy GMT bezel and a functional collar setup, Seiko does deliver, but if you're a frequent traveler, the Traska offers a slight advantage here. Overall, I think both styles of GMT function equally well, making it kind of hard to declare a clear winner in this section. I think it comes down to personal preference, and for me that is the true GMT setup. But when we talk about the movements, there is a clear difference here. Inside the Seiko is the 4R34 automatic movement. It is reliable, serviceable, and keeps costs down. But accuracy wise, it's where it shows its limitation. Out of the box, you're typically looking at anywhere from -35 to +45 seconds per day. And while it's acceptable for a mechanical budget, but it is far from precise. And the Traska uses the Miura 9075, and here the difference is very noticeable. Not only does it offer a true GMT functionality, it also beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour for a smoother sweep. It has a 42-hour power reserve, and crucially, it is regulated in 4 positions. In practice, it runs within -10 to +20 seconds per day, making it significantly more accurate and reliable. So in terms of movement performance, the Miura in the Venture is a clear superior here. So finally, to answer the question, are the extra $225 worth it? First, I have to say that the Seiko GMT deserves the credit for democratizing the GMT complication. It gave watch enthusiasts a piece of chronological history for under $500. It looks great, it's fun to wear, and it's still one of the best entry-level GMTs around. However, Seiko's entry-level quality has been slipping in recent years, and the SSK isn't immune. The finishing is rough in places, the bracelet feels cheap, and the movement accuracy is only just serviceable. So for me, I would definitely save up the extra $225 and go with the Traska Venturer. I think it is totally worth it. The finishing, bracelet, lume, sapphire crystal, hardened steel, slim profile, and true traveler's GMT movement all come together to create a watch that feels far more expensive than it is. And to be honest, I think it's mind-blowing how good it is for such a young micro brand. So which one should you choose? I think there's definitely a bit of a personal preference here when it comes to the looks of the both watches. I think some people are just into the familiar Batman looking style of watch and would pick the Seiko over the Venturer just for that reason. But objectively, the Venturer is definitely a better watch in every aspect. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments. Like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more watch content. I'll catch you in the next one.